What's going on, guys? GORLAN here, and today we're going to be talking about how I got into Pokemon and how that's changed me for the better, because I'm not sure if I talked about this before on my channel, but if I did, it was probably one of my earlier videos, and it was probably not good quality, so I'm just going to talk about this life story again. So again, if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to slap that like button, subscribe if you're new, and without further ado, let's get into this video. So, how did I get into Pokemon? Well, before we talk about that, we just have to talk about who I was when I was 5 and how Pokemon changed me for one of the better things in my life. And when I was 5, I wasn't exactly, your most wall-bouncing, fooling around kid. I was this quiet kid who just liked to get his education done, Just went into school, did my stuff, got all A's, and then went home, and then talked to my grandpa. My grandpa would help me do my homework, and then play with my sister. And that was pretty much it. And, Pokemon changed me a lot, because I remember there was this one time where I was at this after-school camp that I went to, because sometimes my dad couldn't pick me up from his job, so I went to this after-school camp. And when I went to this after-school camp, or little after-school place in the school, there was this one kid, and he was I'd say a year older than me, 2 years older than me, and he was with his friends, and he was playing Pokemon. He was, just showing cards and everything, and my dad was like, "Yo, Pratham, my dog." No, but actually he was like, "Yo, Pratham." He was like, "Pratham, go over there, maybe you want to try it. Look," because he was trying to get me to make friends, like any parent would. I was so shy back then. He was just trying to do anything he could to make me social. And now I am literally the social butterfly, and I think that he spent so much money on Pokemon cards after that. I think he regretted that a lot, but I would never regret that, and I thank him for choosing to send me over to those boys. And anyways, let's continue with the story. So, I go over to those boys, right, and they're playing Pokemon. I'm like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's Pokemon." I'm like, "What's that?" And it's like, "Oh, they're little creatures." And I'm like, "Ooh, cool, creatures on cards," because at the time, I was a really big fan of, playing with my toys and everything, and I had a wild imagination. So just seeing, all these creatures drawn out on cards was, one of the coolest things for me at the time. And I was like, "Can I have one?" And they were like, "Yeah, have this." I forget, I think it was, my first card that they gave me was, a light macho or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, dude, cool, dude, that's sick." Not actually, but I just took it and I went into the car with my dad. And we drove home for the day. And I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Daddy, can you buy me more?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure I can." And so, the next day, we went to this Target, or the store, if you want to call it that, and basically, he bought this, beginner's deck thing, and it had a bunch of cards in it. And, that's how I started out, and then one thing led to another, and I became a collector. I started learning more about Pokemon like that, and this is how I translates to me, starting video games is because I figured out Pokemon has a video game series. And this was when I was about to turn 6. So I get my DS, I get Pokemon, think it was Platinum I got for my first game, and then along with that I also got a couple Mario games. And I was a gamer, dude. I didn't even know you could go past the Jubilife City part of the game. So I just kept training in that one area of the game for a long time. Way more than I should have, but yeah, for the most part, that is how I got into Pokemon, and that's how it helped me get into games, and that's how that has really shaped up who I am today. No doubt that even without Pokemon, I probably would have found out about video games sooner or later, as we are living in, the modern world, but you never know. Maybe I would have never gotten into Pokemon at all then. Maybe I would have started thinking it was stupid as an older person. Maybe I would have never made some of the friends that I've made through Pokemon, and Pokemon has just really shaped who I am today, and not just Pokemon, YouTube, all of this stuff that's revolving around me nowadays, and back then, shaped up who I am and who I will be in my life. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. It's been your boy, GORLAN, and GORLAN out.